big news happened this past week with the NIL situation with investing money. The Gator Guard was invented or created or brought upon us, or whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. The new name, image, and likeness initiative has officially launched, coined the Gator Guard. It's led up by a one-time University of Florida student by the name of Hugh Hathcock. I mean, what a name, first of all. He's a businessman, the owner of Velocity Automotive. He attended UF for one semester before dropping out of school to pursue a since blossom entrepreneur career. I would say so myself. Now, he's now started this new initiative, again, called the Gator Guard, which has recently raised $3 million. This is partnering up with the Gator Collective, which has raised $5 million. Now, the Gator Collective was more driven towards us, the fans, the people, right? Where they're reaching out saying, hey, invest so we can pay these kids so they can buy Gucci belts and Jordans and all that good stuff, right? What Hugh has created now with the Gator Guard is a little bit, it's separating itself from the Gator Collective, but it's obviously the same entity, but it's going after more of a business-like mentality, right? More people like Hugh himself. So probably bigger investments, maybe not as many people, but more, not quantity, but quality, right? More $3 million investments. He's also made a $12.6 million pledge to the Gator Booster as well. So this guy obviously has a little bit of cheddar to throw around. So we'll see what happens. But this is huge for Florida. I think it's great that they're getting this started. A lot of schools are starting to do this. Florida State has their own as well. Correct, Steve?
Yeah, correct. They have the Rising Spear, which is essentially... It's outside the boosters. It's specifically dedicated to just giving money into what the NIL is and making sure that the student athletes, have the wherewithal to want to stay with us versus going somewhere else. It's not part of the booster contribution. It's specifically for the student athletes in football. And I said this to you off cast. I've been a booster for a long time, many years, and I've always wondered kind of where my money went. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you this, and you give me like ticket priority and all these things, but I never really knew where the money went. So now with the FSU, the Rising Spear, it's specifically dedicated to football and the NIL and how it's developing, living within the new college football world.
So what, and Money made a good point, is that like the Florida should reach out to Gatorade. I think these teams need to, like what he's saying is build more relationships with brands. I know Barstool has their own athletes. I don't know if Barstool is trying to act as their own entity, but if I'm Florida, it's like, look, I'm going to go to Barstool, be like, hey, we'll make you our guy. Like you're a Barstool athlete, you're coming to Florida. Right now, does that benefit Barstool? I don't know, because right now they can go after any kid, and you're a Barstool athlete at ASU, at Florida, whatever. But if you could have that connection where it goes hand to hand, kind of like Jordan. I mean, you can still do the same, because you have Jordan in Florida. You have Nike, right? They have these brands that connect with the school. Barstool should try to connect that relationship, right? Gatorade should make that relationship. Like, hey, we're going to make you a Gatorade athlete, right? The Gatorade college athlete. Wheaties. Now, I don't know if they're trying that already, but that's where I think the money's going to be, is how do I get these kids sponsorships? Not just hand them money, but how do we get them to look, if I'm college, right? If I'm Florida, it's like, look, we can get these kids money. Cool. Everybody can give them money. But how do we maximize their income? Right? Hey, I'll give you $100,000, but I'm also going to put you on the cover of or on the bottle of this next Gatorade brand for 3 months. And whatever sells, you get, a percentage of that, of whatever that sells. However those brands work, I don't know, right? But if I'm Florida, that's what I'm trying to do, is make more connections with other brands to sell. That's what I'm giving you, right, to these kids. Hey, a shoe brand. Right? It may not be Nike or Jordan or anything like that, but that's how it's going to build. That's where these kids want to go. They want to see themselves out there. That's what's going to separate themselves. If I just crack the code, Florida, give me a call. I'm free.
Well, and that's the issue with the NIL, right? And this is why I've just never liked it. And you and I have talked about it. It's just going to end up being a free agency of players, right? So a school like where Billy came from, right? The Louisiana Monroe, was it Louisiana Monroe?
Who?
Billy.
Raging
He
Cajuns.
came for Raging
Cajuns.
Cajuns, right? So,
Raging
Raging Cajuns,
Cajuns.
right? So, but I mean, there's no chance that they can give a kid the opportunity to even put his face on things, right? They just can't. There's no chance.
Wait,
But for some,
hold on. Say that again.
so okay, so for somebody like a smaller school, let's just say Boise State. Boise State's been around for a while. You take somebody like Memphis, somebody who's won a bowl game at a higher level recently. They're not on the same level as some of the other Power Five schools, but here's where this whole thing becomes a little bit of a problem is because Alabama has the alumni, Florida has the alumni, FSU kind of has the alumni, Georgia. But if so, Memphis can't keep up. UCF can't keep up. They don't have the alumni to have the brand recognition correlation to some of the opportunities that some of these other schools have. So, what are you going to do if there's a massive, car dealership in Texas, in Austin, that wants to give a kid,
It's another great example.
a $2 million contract to be the new face of their car dealership? Well, Memphis can't keep up with that. They don't.
No,
So
that's where I disagree. I think that's where I disagree. I think the money part of it, the boosters, yes. Creating relationships with a dealership in Memphis, they can still do that, no matter how big they are, right? That's
oil money.
where
You're going to keep up with oil money.
Well, look, they can if they go create a relationship with somebody else in Memphis who has us, hey, look, we're going to make you the kid of Memphis. Look, Memphis, the NIL isn't going to. It was never meant to bring Memphis in part of this. They're not the schools where there are. They're going to stay where there are. It's just going to level things up a little bit. But what I will say is like a Chick-fil-A, right? Like Georgia should be like be connected with Chick-fil-A. And then you have a Chick-fil-A athlete, and that kid gets to go and be on the Chick-fil-A commercials. I think
so great. So then what is the kid who wants to play for South Carolina? What's their correlation just because they're not in a city that has...
I don't know, Steve. That's where the schools have to come into play and get their shit together. Go get McDonald's. Florida can go get Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying Chick-fil-A for Georgia because like all the Georgia, like if you go to a Braves game, there's Chick-fil-A in the stadium. I'm just using correlation. But that's the school's got to move
from Atlanta.
The school's got to move quickly. Go make a relationship. Just because it's in Georgia doesn't mean you can't knock on the door. I'm just letting you know if I am Georgia, you have an easier connection. The same way with Florida and Gatorade. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, Florida doesn't own Gatorade, though. Quaker Oats does.
Florida is the inventor and the creator of Gatorade, okay?
They sold the rights away for
just because Florida State hasn't invented anything, all right? Don't get your panties in a twat, all right? Relax.
You mean FSU Firewater, which you stole?
What the hell is that?
FSU Firewater was what Gatorade was. You stole it. You patented it.
So, okay, you're just supporting my argument even more. We went out there and did it better than you did. So, South Carolina wanted a Chick-fil-A. They would go out there and do it better than them.
But they're not headquartered in fucking South Carolina.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter where you're headquartered. The fact of the matter is making a deal. You make a deal. You have a conversation with somebody.
So
that's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that
South Carolina is close enough to Georgia to where it's correlated.
Hold on. So the North Carolina Triangle, North Carolina, Raleigh, Duke, they should have the biggest pharmaceutical relationships for college football. That would be bigger than just about anything aside from big tech, right?
I don't know what that means. Is there a lot of pharmaceutical things out there?
That's all it is.
Okay, so yeah, no, I'm not. No, you're not helping me. It doesn't matter where you're located.
The Pfizer,
South Carolina would work with Chick-fil-A. Now, if USC wouldn't got Chick-fil-A, would that be great? No, because it's not correlated. But the other schools around.
That's In-N-Out Burger. Like, my gosh.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Now you're using your little noggin. Brian Carter said, I love the show. I get a geographical lesson as well sometimes. My mind is just like, okay, let me look at the map in my head. Where are we at with this? Where we going with this?